Hey guys, hope everything's going okay. Happy Monday. Um, I wanted to kind of continue our theology of the body thread with dating and give you my 2 cents on dating. I know last time I had a video by Jackie Francois on dating, and some of you liked some of it, some of you didn't like some of it, and that's okay. It's okay to disagree with Catholic speakers, obviously. Um, she's not giving church doctrine. I think that it could have facilitated really good discussion. I would have liked to have discussed some of it with you in class, but that's not where we are now. So we'll kind of continue the way that we are. And the theme that I wanted to talk about regarding dating, and especially with all that we've learned through theology of the body, is um, a relationship with God before a relationship with others. I think that this uh, is something that's been crucial in my life, and something that I think is just true to what it means to be human. Is that if you have no relationship with God, then your relationships with others aren't going to be as fulfilling. And I have a personal experience that I would like to share, specifically in college. Is that you guys know me, and you know that for a lot of my life, I've really struggled with a lack of confidence, and really a lack of just belief in myself. And um, I can speak very negatively about myself. Um, and I really brought that to relationships. I still kind of do in a way. I still bring that lack of confidence to relationships, and those relationships don't thrive. They're not happy and peaceful relationships. At least not as much as they could be, um, if if I had confidence, if I believed in my gifts, and uh, believed that uh, I could bring something good to a relationship. Um, the other part of the kind of the destructive nature of a lack of confidence is that it causes a person to be selfish. Whereas if you have confidence, then you think a lot more about others, and this is extremely important for relationships. You have to be able to be selfless and to think about the other. Um, and ultimately, this is why a relationship with God is important first and foremost. But I'll get to that. Whenever I was in college, I began developing this relationship with God a lot more. I mean, obviously, I'm a cradle Catholic, so I was going to church. I was going to Sunday school. I believed in God. I uh, prayed every now and then. Prayed. I did pray growing up, but in college, I spent 15 minutes every day um, asking God who He is, uh, letting God know who I am, even though He already knows. I mean, we really dove into this relationship, and I really opened my heart to His presence in my life, which is a very real and a very felt presence. I mean, what this did to my lack of confidence is it made me realize that I'm not alone. Right? My confidence comes from trust in God and belief that He put me here and He has a purpose for me. That's where my entire confidence comes from. And it was like my relationships exploded through the roof. They automatically became 10 times more fulfilling. My relationships were so fulfilling in college because I had God first. And I had that peace and that confidence that He loved me unconditionally. And it gave me an ability to love others unconditionally, to truly love them. Not just to love them in a way that I thought was loving them, but to love them in truth, to love them according to an accurate definition of love, because I had experienced it first. Right. So moving on to dating relationships, why God first? We've talked before, and specifically in our discussions with Saint Augustine, about how we have a vacancy in our hearts. We have this hole in our hearts that's open, um, and most of our lives are seeking to fill that hole, to fill that vacancy with something meaningful, something valuable, and something that gives us a why for our life. And so if that space is not filled with God, then you're going to seek to fill that space with the other. You're going to seek to fill that vacancy with another person. And why does this pose a problem? Well, um, it can do two things. So the first thing that this action can do of trying to fill our vacancy with another person is it can cause us to idolize them. It can cause us to make them into something that they can never be. Right? So we make them into God uh, by trying to fill this hole with them, and by doing that, we set really high expectations for them. Not only that, not only are we setting really high expectations for them that they can't always fill because they're human, they're not God. But the other thing that we do is we're using them, right? When you use another person to fill that vacancy in your heart, uh, you're using them as your God, as your resting place, as your rock. Um, you're using them in a way that's going to exhaust them, in a way that's not going to allow your relationship to be fulfilling. Okay, so that's kind of the first route that this can take. The second route um, that this can cause in your life is that um, it can cause you to move too quickly from person to person without getting to know someone or really giving yourself to someone, um, because you're still searching for that ultimate fulfillment, right? That you don't find in this person or that person, right? And so this can give you some major trust issues because if you start dating someone and start um, having sex with them to feel close with them, and you start um, talking with them as though they're the person that's going to fulfill your entire life, right? You're setting yourself up for a deep hurt whenever you realize that um, this person is not only not perfect and not God, but this person is fallen and has weaknesses and has ways that they can hurt me. And so it can give you some serious trust issues as well, right? None of this has to happen. None of it has to be the case. Why? Because if the vacancy in your heart was already fulfilled by God and was already filled by your relationship and your daily prayer with Him, then you would walk about your life with a kind of peace and a kind of confidence that I'm taken care of. Right? I've put my entire life in the hands of someone that I can trust and who loves me unconditionally. Right? And so then, whenever you find a significant other and someone that you want to get to know as a person, and someone who you want to allow to know you as a person, and you know that person needs to be someone who's given their life to God as well. Um, then you can bear patiently with their weaknesses. You can bear patiently with their fallenness, and you can help one another grow in the relationship. And not only this, but your relationship with God will be fulfilling, and then your relationship with that other person will be that much more fulfilling, insofar as it is a relationship with that person in God, right? Like I said before, when I was talking about confidence, uh, you've learned the school of authentic love by being in relationship with God. And then you can authentically love another person and unconditionally love them, and they have the same opportunity to love you. Right? So if you want to have a fulfilling relationship, a relationship with a person that you can trust, and a person that you can bear with patiently, and a person that you can grow with until death do you part, then you've got to start with God. You've got to start with prayer. So relationship with God and then relationship with others. Please tell me what you think. Tell me your thoughts. Tell me what's on your heart. And I pray that you'll continue on this journey and that you'll find your happiness. My best encouragement is to begin with prayer. God bless you.